We have another promising future NASCAR Cup Series driver making their debut this weekend at Bristol, so let's do a little overview of the career of Jesse Love. Love burst onto the scene in the 2020 season, winning the ARCA Menard Series West Championship, and then he followed it up winning it again the next year in 2021. That's not all he did in 2021 though, because he ran a few ARCA Menard Series races and he beat Ty Gibbs at Salem Speedway for race 19 of 20 of the 2021 season, leading 45 laps in the 15 car. Love would run a part-time ARCA schedule in 2022, winning one race but getting 12 top 10s across 14 starts with a 5.4 average finish. But his real breakout season came in the 2023 ARCA Menard Series, where in 20 races he won half of them, 10, adding 17 top 5s and 18 top 10s for a dominating championship run. He won 7 poles throughout the season and had an average start of 3.2 and an average finish inside the top 5 at 4.1. Not only did he win a lot, he won on every single track type that the ARCA Menard Series visited in 2023. He had 3 short track wins, 1 super speedway win at Talladega, 4 regular speedway wins at places like Kansas, Charlotte, Pocono, and Michigan. He won a road course race at Watkins Glen and then added a win on the dirt to finish out the 2023 season. He led an insane 56% of the laps run in the 2023 season, leading almost 1,500 of 2,600 laps at 1477. On top of dominating the ARCA Menard Series, he ran a couple of truck races, the first one at Gateway where he was originally scheduled to be in the number 1 car, but he filled in for a sick Corey Heim, finishing in 9th position. He ran 2 more races for Tricon Garage, both in the number 1 car, finishing 13th at the Mile and a Half Kansas Speedway, and then 4th place at the season finale at Phoenix. However, Love would not run a full-time truck series season. He would immediately jump to the Xfinity Series for 2024, replacing Sheldon Creed in the number 2 car for Richard Childress Racing. This marked a move away from the Toyota Racing Development family that he had been a part of all through his ARCA Menard Series, East, West, and Main Series starts. So for his 2024 Xfinity Series season, I wanted to break it down into kind of 3 different categories. The first 10 races, then a stretch through the summer, and then the final 11 races of the season, because he had 3 different things going on here. In the first 10 races of his NASCAR Xfinity Series career, he had a win that came at Talladega, 3 top 5s, 6 top 10s, 3 poles including his debut race at Daytona, and led 241 laps. He was up front a lot with an average running position of 9.5, an average finish inside the top 10 at 9, and ran 80% of his laps inside of the top 15. However, Love struggled through the summer stretch of the season through races 11 to 22, only getting 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s in that time span. He only led 39 laps compared to 241 and had an average running position of 14.2, almost 5 positions behind where he was before. His average finish dropped from inside of the top 10 to 17th and only ran 64% of his laps inside of the top 15. However, Love really turned things around in the final third of the season, adding 9 top 10s in the final 11 races to go along with 2 top 5s and 2 poles. Only led 61 laps but had a better average running position at 9.1 and a 7.8 average finish, taking him all the way to the round of 8, and he was in contention for one of the final spots going into Phoenix. During this span, he ran 86% of his laps inside of the top 15, which is 6% more than he did in the first 10 races of the season, which included his win at Talladega. By the end of the season, this is how his stats looked. Of course, he had that 1 win, 7 top 5s, and 18 top 10s, so he finished in the top 10 for more than half of the 33 races, 4 poles to go along with 341 laps led. His average running position was 11.2 and his average finish was 12, so he was finishing around where he was running and had 77.6% of laps ran inside the top 15. Jumping ahead now to look at the first 8 races that he has ran in the 2025 season, and he's putting up similar numbers to his great finish in 2024. 1 win, of course, that came at the season opener at Daytona, 2 top 5s and 5 top 10s, as well as a pole. Only leading 53 laps, but he is running in the top 10 for most of the race with an average running position of 9.37. His average finish is just outside of the top 10 at 11.1, and he has ran 86.9% of his laps inside of the top 15. So looking at his Cup debut, he has made 45 starts in NASCAR's lower series, 3 in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and then 42 counting this weekend's event at Bristol in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So how has Jesse done at Bristol? Well, he's ran 4 races in NASCAR sanctioned events at Bristol, 3 of them in the ARCA Menard Series, starting 4th, 4th, and 2nd, and getting 3 top 10 finishes, 7th, 10th, and a 2nd place at his last visit there in ARCA, leading 158 of 200 laps. In the one Xfinity Series race he ran there last season, he finished 4th after starting in 10th and led 1 lap. Something else I wanted to look at was how does RCR run here? Of course, he is going to be in the number 33 car for Richard Childress Racing, and they have ran abysmal at Bristol in the next-gen car with a 23.5 average finish. In 2022, Tyler Reddick finished 25th, and Austin Dillon in 31st. Kyle Busch took over the ride in 2023, and he has finishes of 20th, 25th, and 25th. Austin Dillon hasn't fared much better in those last 3 visits to Bristol with an RCR best 17th place in the next-gen car. His other 2 finishes are 24th and 21st, so they've only finished inside of the top 20 twice in 8 tries. How do you guys think Jesse Love's going to do here? You know, I think after looking at these numbers, I think getting a top 20 would be a really good day for those guys, but again, when you're making these first Cup Series starts, it's just about running all the laps and getting the track time. That's worth more than anything, so leave a comment if you're excited to see him run his first race. Thanks for watching.